When you got our police department once again honored by the Division of Criminal Justice Services for their excellence in professionalism, in record keeping, and leadership, that's significant. Three or four of those people are in the audience right now. It was my pleasure to be with them when they were received this honor. You'll occasionally see my mug in pictures. I don't like to throw a lot of pictures around, but I get in them once in a while. It's important, not that I show pictures of me, it's important that I be there with Lou Corsi and his staff as they are recognized. Our professionals in our police department have won awards and been recognized for their gallantry this year, for their life-saving actions. And by the way, firemen and EMS folks in our town have been similarly recognized for the lives they've saved. Sharon Fisher, I mentioned by name, she retired this year. She gave much of her career to our recycling program in Bethlehem, and it was sad to see her go. Sad to see Karen Pelletier, who led the CJIS program for so many years, go, but what they've built is here. Let me talk a moment about the future. I don't have a lot of graphics to show you about the future because we haven't built it yet, but we will. And a year from now, someone will be able to make a presentation about what has been done. Here are some of the things I've seen written lately that strike true to me, not because they're political pundits, but because it seems to me they have the right values of what we need to do in Bethlehem and perhaps what needs to be done elsewhere. We need new ways of thinking about how to deal with our fiscal issues. Elected leaders really need to make politically challenging choices. I don't know if you remember Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. I remember it. But this gentleman went to Washington, he was elected to office, and he tried to change what was then the ugly tone of our political and governmental conversations. You know what I mean? That's not my quote, but I will tell you this. From what I see in Bethlehem, your colleagues are working well together. We may disagree, but I think we're doing what is best for the town, and that's what's important. And I would not conclude this slide without saying something about a workforce. And I came upon this one. If the workforce doesn't feel valued, nothing else will change. That's absolutely true. And that's why the workforce has to feel valued here and know that they are valued. One of the reasons why the town board included a 1% salary increase as a COLA for our staff, when I know others in other communities might not have been doing that or might have been doing more than it. We tried to balance fiscal sensitivity with responsibility, letting people know they help us. They're part of the solution. These are the statements that I began my presentation about the year just passed. They will hold true for the future. Principles should not change. Values should not change. Methods change. We'll use a team approach, openness, participation, and building our capacity, and we will make Bethlehem as sustainable as possible. We can no longer look, if indeed we ever could, to state, national, county for more support. We have to try to solve our own problems as best we can. I think we are. I'll just quickly mention an overview. 2020 is important. It's a model. We have 16 people who are respected in the community, capable in their own profession areas, volunteering their time to offer the town board the independence of their judgment about what we have to do to be great in Bethlehem. I think that's a model that might want to be followed in some other places, but right now, I'm happy to say it's a model we're using here. I'm so proud of that group of volunteering their time. We're going to move an action plan forward on planning and development initiatives that I'll show you in a minute. We are going to do more to build in environmental concerns, open space, climate change, and matters like that in our policy decisions and find revenue streams for various ways, including economic development, to help those areas. Because if we don't do that, they're not going to get done. It'll just be rhetoric. And I'm going to work with all of the department heads that the town board and I work with to develop clear, short work plans for what they believe is important for their departments. Because if I forget that, and I will not, we're not building in essential folks that have a stake in our community and our government. I'll just quickly show you that we have 3 subcommittees working on 2020. We're going to consider things under modernization, efficiency, and effectiveness, like reorganization and unification of public works and the highway department. These are not words or concepts to fear. They are things we need to look at. The town board doesn't have to take recommendations. I don't, but they need to be studied so that we know that Bethlehem is doing all that it can to deliver service as best it can and to save as much money as it can. We're going to look at our financial and administrative management systems to see how to improve them. Do I think they're working well now? I think they're working pretty well now, but things can improve. Let's not be fearful of driving forward for excellence, even if it requires change. Consider change terms for elected and appointed offices. It's been talked about in Bethlehem for years. We need to look at that and see what the options are, to see if there's anything we want to recommend or 2020 wants to recommend to the town board. And by the way, when I sit with the town board, I have one vote on statutory, on policy, and on budget matters. My vote is equal. A lot of folks don't understand that about the job of supervisor. Day to day, I have sort of chief executive officer capacity here, but when we're up there working together, we really are colleagues because we all have equal weight. The second subcommittee is working on economic development. We got some really sharp people on that subcommittee and all of the others. We're going to be looking at getting Vista going. And I tell you, I can't promise you, but I think in the next 6 months you're going to start to see things happening because the economy is changing, because this town is driving forward. When a barrier comes up, we move forward to see how we can change it. We're going to be looking at Selkirk Rail Yard. Christo Zemmering is heading a subgroup to look at that area to see what can we do down there to help our economic base. Retail will continue to be a priority. It must be. It's part of the fabric of our community. And we're going to generate new funding sources to do what we need to do in Bethlehem for open space, environment, rail systems, working with large landowners that might be interested in keeping their land open or farming capacity and wonder how they're going to do that. This is where we're going. The last one is on the Subcommittee of Intergovernmental Cooperation. I'll be done in about 2 minutes, folks. I just want to mention that miraculous things are happening. The town board, fire districts, ambulance districts, school districts, both of them, the library, are all coming together and sitting in a room saying, what can we share? What can we do different? How can we build? How can we be better? We are moving beyond those stovepipes that sometimes separate us. Take it step at a time, but we're getting there. I also intend to have a closely working relationship with the fire and EMS emergency service providers because the town has some responsibilities there, and I want to make sure we're doing our job, that the town board is